Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. And I guess mine as well. I'm just going to get myself set up real quick. A little tired. But so is everybody. Maybe the solar eclipse has taken it out on all of us. We're all a little sluggish, perhaps. Oh. This is my list of things that I want to draw. I actually need to change this. Did I check all that stuff? Oh, I haven't done that one. There's a couple ideas here where I don't even know if I'm going to do them. I did that. Alright. I don't even know if I'm going to do any of the stuff that's on this list tonight. I'm thinking about it, though. Thinking about it. Until then, I think I'm just going to start sketching on this pad before I sketch on the watercolor paper. Because I need to get out some jitters, and so I need to you just need to draw. You just need to start drawing shapes, and I don't even care if it looks good. I'm just meh. Sometimes you just need to get out the BS, you know. So maybe I'll just maybe I'll draw Jake Baker. That's something I do often is I'll draw a character I know pretty well. Although I'm not drawing him very well right now. So maybe I'll try and draw him better. How I would if I were taking this seriously, right? Circle. Has pointy nose. And I always draw his head too small. Always. And hair. His big eyebrows. Just crazy hair. It's always a great way to warm up because I can oh, I know how to draw that. If I can draw that, I can draw anything, I guess. A little hair back there. Nah, I don't know if that works. Anyway, not important. Part of the reason I'm doing this is I haven't figured out entirely what it is that I want to draw tonight. Kind of came in this a little empty-headed, a little empty-minded, and I know I have things that I should draw. I did have a character design. I don't know if I'm going to do this, though. This character's kind of complicated, for one. This is a pretty recent character design I came up with. I just need to break him down into shapes. Excuse me. Or I might do a different Some kind of spider monster. Usually if I have the face down, I can do like the rest. Um, like that, and then I feel like this spider should have a hat. But I don't really know what kind of hat. It's kind of fun. What about a top hat? Maybe. What if his eyes were all monocles? That's kind of a funny idea. It's like just monocles. Or maybe this is all eyes. One side is all eyes, the other side is monocles. I don't know how that would make sense though. Maybe I'll have to think that through. I like the idea. There's an idea here. I just don't have the. I need the. Okay. Give me a second. Oops. Bump the camera a little bit. Okay. Let me think. Big spider butt. And a little spider head. And kind of crazy top hat action. See, okay. Here's what I'm thinking. This is almost an idea, but it's not quite. So, what if, I guess I want to do like a mustache. Like a mustache and sideburns kind of action. Alright. Make that butt. What if he had like tailcoats? What if he was like. Alright. I think I like where this is going. It's a general idea. Gentleman spider. Although, I don't know. Here we go. Thinking too much. Think less, draw more. That's how you solve the problem. Generally. Drawing is, I don't know, drawing is usually at its best when you're not thinking about what you're doing. You just do it. Like so many things in life. Really interesting design problem with his legs because they're crazy. Alright, and then I still have one more leg I need to like account for. Okay, that's like the general. This is like the general layout, right? The general composition of the character design, and I need to just work on a couple more details. Like he needs like some cufflinks. This might be one of those weeks where I just draw a lot of spiders, so I hope you like spiders. Who knows? You know, change my mind. But I started drawing a spider character in The Legend of Redneck, and I really liked this character a lot, and I thought it was really fun to draw. So now I'm just like really into spiders right now. Who knows what it'll be next week? All right, and then okay. Let's see if there's anything else I need to just line up. Monocles. Like that's ridiculous enough, right? He's got like 3 monocles. All right, and then I guess we can go to inking now. This seems like a complete idea. I'm just gonna start inking lines like you do. And the only reason I really feel any kind of comfortable about drawing this right now is because I had been looking at a lot of references for spiders earlier today, which is a pretty typical like strategy that I use when I'm doing like character design or something. If it's like especially if it's like an animal that I haven't drawn a lot of, I just like look at a bunch of pictures, download some, put them on the computer so that I can like have easy access to them and just maybe even do. I haven't done this as much lately, but maybe even do like what do you call like sketch studies of that animal or like that person or that character or whatever, and get myself into a place where like I feel really comfortable with what I'm drawing to the point that I don't even have to think about it so much when I'm drawing it. Just gonna pull in the camera a little bit so y'all can see better what I'm doing. A great example of this in Trailer Park Warlock, like there are a lot of horses. So like when I first started off drawing Trailer Park Warlock and did like, you know, that very first episode, the first episode has a ton of horses, and I didn't know how to draw horses at all. Excuse me, I want to take a sip of water. And so what I did is I just started doing studies. I did several studies of drawing horses. I just kept drawing horses. And I drew horses until I got to the point where I felt like I understood how to draw a horse without thinking too much about it. And by that time, things started to click and start to make some sense. Now, I still had to use some reference when I was drawing horses in the comic, Because like I said, that first episode has a lot of horses, and I'm drawing horses from a lot of different angles, right? And so I was in a very, I did not feel like sure-footed in what I was doing. And so gaining that sure-footedness just takes a lot of, just a lot of practice, a lot of like, I don't know, what would you call it? Experience, I guess. I guess that's the appropriate word. You accrue your experience up to the point that you no longer are thinking about it, and so you're just doing it, right? It's almost like if you want to become a good pitcher or batter, you just have to keep, like if you want to become a good batter at baseball, you just have to keep learning how to swing. If you want to learn how to become a good pitcher, you just have to keep throwing the ball. You do it over and over and over again. And, with some instruction, some helpful guidance from the sideline. But you just keep doing that to a point where you're not even thinking about it. You're just doing it. It's just something that happens automatically. And getting into that place where you do it automatically takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time. But the sort of reward that it yields is one where at a certain point, you don't have to put in the same amount of effort that you initially had to put in to get to where you were. And so, for any artist, my advice is, if you want to become good, or you want to get better, I should say, that's a better way of putting it. If you want to get better, just do it a lot. Just do it a lot and don't think too hard about it. And don't try and overanalyze it either. That's, it's not going to help you out in the long run, I think. I think there's, sometimes I see artists who overanalyze their work and overanalyze what they're doing with the thought that, if they just study it over and over again, if they just put all this serious concentrated thought into it, it will yield some kind of fruit. And maybe it'll help, but I think ultimately you can end up in this sort of paralyzed state where you've overthought what you're doing. And when you look at, the greatest professional world-class level artists, they're not putting that much analysis into it. In fact, they're probably not putting any analysis into it. It's not to say that you can't do that. But what I am trying to say is moderate, right? If you find yourself extremely fatigued by the effort you're putting into, um, getting better at your skills, right? If you find yourself fatigued by like all your practice, it could be because you're trying too hard. Or in fact, the fact that you're trying at all. And the less you try and the more that you just do, I get it. It sounds like I'm saying the same thing, but there is a subtle difference between trying and doing. Doing isn't worried about the result, and trying is. That's the difference. And that's actually like incredibly difficult because, most everything these days, everybody's sort of like consumed by the results. Whether that's, starting up a business or a YouTube channel, an Instagram account, whatever it is, right? The first thing anybody can think about. What's the first thing that like so many people think about when they start a YouTube channel, right? It's how do I get as many subscribers as I can as soon as possible so I can make a full-time living doing this? Well, that to me seems like a sure way to just not enjoy what you're doing and potentially even fail at it, right? And I say this as like, that's not an easy, like, that's a very difficult mindset to adopt, to not worry about it, to just not think about it, not think about what you're doing. I don't know how anybody 100% has that mindset all the time. I myself have yet to master it. But if you can master that mindset, it makes a lot of things a lot easier. Way, way, way easier. But I have found one area where I have been able to like use that mindset. I would not say I've mastered it, but I would say I've come to terms with it, at least to some degree, and that's with drawing. I just do not spend that much time analyzing what I'm doing. I just kind of do it. And as far as I'm aware, there's no other way to do it. So long as you go in with the understanding that you will make mistakes and that you'll have to improve from those mistakes that you've made, right? As long as you can do that, it's all good. Speaking of which, I've kind of made a weird mistake right there. I might be able to fix it. We'll see. See, I just don't like the thickness of that line right there. It's bugging me. Alright, I'm gonna get my pen out real quick. If I can find it. Like, I'm having a moment where, like, maybe this isn't a good drawing. The hardest part is just pushing through that and just, like, finishing the drawing and not worrying about, like, the results. So here's what I could do. I could... But yeah, I don't know. Do y'all see what I'm talking about, though? Just like, maybe I shouldn't point it out, but this is what I see. I see that line. I see the weird thickness of that line, and it's just throwing me off. I'm trying to come up in my head with some kind of solution. But maybe there isn't one. Maybe maybe I just have to live with that mistake. I don't know. Do another drawing, right? I certainly have the paper for it. Or, even better, what if well, I mean, okay, this coat's gonna be black anyway. I'm talking myself into it. I might get this stuff out. God help me. Am I gonna do it? So yeah, I figured because this coat's gonna be black anyway. I was just like, I could use the ivory black, like the watercolor, or I can just have it match the line art. I think this is ultimately the better idea, but I have some design choices I have to make, right? I have to make sure everything lines up appropriately. Like, this line is driving me nuts. It's the kind of things I think about. It's the kind of things that keep me up at night. So this will only take forever, by the way. I'm just gonna have to meticulously go in and fill in all this. I have doomed my. I guess originally I was like, oh, I'll do 2 illustrations tonight, but I think it's just gonna be this one. I think so. Because this is going to be another. I'm sure this is going to be about 15 to 20 minutes to do. But on the other hand, it's less stuff I'll have to paint. So I guess there's that. I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Not sure. But yeah, look at the. Well, look at the point on that brush. You can't really see it because it's all blurred out. It's the kind of point you do want with a brush. So, I'll only be here I'll be here till like 2 in the morning doing this. Just filling in. Carefully filling in all these black areas. Hoping not to mess up. Oh no, okay. Do it like that. This is not my favorite way to do it, but it'll work. I guess at the end of the day, what works is what matters. Inking is so high stakes. This is one of those things where I still haven't quite gotten to the point of like where I'm just doing and not thinking about it. Not quite. I've gotten pretty far, but not like 100%. Which I think is part of the reason why I ended up doing a lot of work digitally. Was that, being able to control Z out of things made it easier not to like overanalyze, and I could kind of shut off a certain part of my brain. I mean, there are artists out there who like, they can do professional quality illustrations not thinking about it at all. They're just doing it. I'm not, I'm not quite at the. I mean that in terms of like analog, like pen and ink. Not quite there with pen and ink. I would say I've gotten closer, but I'm not quite like. Not 100%. Let's say like 85. So there's a good 15% missing that I still need to like acquire. Rabida says hi. Hi. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully you can hear me. I know that there's a bit of a delay too. With the old YouTube. I was trying to describe what I felt like YouTube streaming was with a friend the other day, and it's like kind of like hanging out in your room and then like random people from the internet show up. Which can be nice. Okay. Right at the end, I kind of mess up a line. Oh well. Oh wait, I still need to do this top hat. This is going to be very annoying. Because I need to put an outline like around the whole thing. See if I can pull it off. All right. Ooh, kind of messed up a little bit. Although I don't know, maybe that kind of works. Oh my gosh, I missed a arm, leg, what have you. I'll have to go back and fix that. How did I do that? Okay. I really love that point. This brush has a good point. It makes a good point. Okay. I think that's my illustration for tonight. Try and do another one tomorrow. I was gonna do two originally, but it's getting kind of late and I'm kind of tired. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. You all have a good day, night, whatever, and we will talk again soon. All right, bye.